right, we'll move on approval of the public board policies and objectives, item 6. First up is 6.1, policy 414, credit by examination, revised, second reading. And 6.2, policy 419, graduation requirements, revised, second reading. And I'll do 6.3, 714, contract authorization, new, and it's a second reading. So I'd like to take 6.1, 6.2, 6.3 together, please.
So moved. Second.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Condon.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Dr. Kerrigan.
Aye.
Ms. Kashgarian. Dr. Griffin.
Aye.
Mrs. Olschlager.
Aye.
Ms. Paul.
Aye.
6.4 is policy 907, authorized alcoholic beverages, services, and sales. It's a new second reading.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yeah, discussion.
When I talked to President Weber, I had some concern about some of the language.
Yeah, we sent new language. I'm sorry, you came in after. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we do have new language, Trustee Kashgarian, if you need that, new language.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Okay. You'll see that it's in red there, and then in blue is marked out. So I believe this is some of the comments that Dr. Weber had received during the
This is what we talked about.
Oh.
These are changes that we discussed. So,
You want to see a copy?
You okay with that?
So the only difference in the one that's in our book and the newest one that came out today is that we deleted that sentence after the red, correct?
And added the words where it says right to serve or to sell, which I think is the correct
Gotcha.
change.
right, but we can put restrictions not only on how people who sell alcohol, but also anybody who's gonna serve alcohol at an event, that we can impose restrictions. I mean, the first one I think of is that there has to be a certificate of insurance right away
yeah.
that we're gonna require, but we may have other requirements, and it's not just on sale, it's also on serving. And then I had a problem with this limiting us to yes or no on approval, like after reviewing the form. Well, what if they fill out the form okay, but don't comply with our requirements, don't provide the insurance or any other restrictions that we might have? So I thought that, let's just leave that part out. So we discussed that, and I think this is a better, I think this gives us more flexibility this way.
Okay. Any other comments?
If I could just make
Sure.
a comment, I mean, this was passed in the legislature last year because community colleges were having trouble with their own counties or their own villages or cities to get liquor licenses. I think it should be pointed out that the Village of Grace Lake has always cooperated with the College of Lake County with the standing liquor license, which they charge nothing to the college for, and that they've always been cooperative with us, and this is just enhancing that, and I'm very grateful as a board member that we have a good relationship with Grace Lake that we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Other comments or questions or discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Condon.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Dr. Kerrigan.
Aye.
Ms. Kashgarian.
Aye.
Dr. Griffin.
Aye.
Mrs. Olschlager.
Aye.
Ms. Paul.
Aye.
Item 7 is the approval of the financials. 7.1, resolution approving ratifying bills, authorized budget transfers, and accepting monthly financial reports. I'll look for a motion on 7.1, please.
So moved. Second.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Condon.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Dr. Kerrigan.
Aye.
Ms. Kashgarian.
Aye.
Dr. Griffin.
Aye.
Mrs. Olschlager.
Aye.
Ms. Paul.
Aye.
Item 7.2 is approval of the insurance program premiums. May I seek a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions?
Question, I just have a question, just for
Yes.
my education. I'm looking at page 28,
Yes.
and we're talking about all the losses that we're insuring against. Educators' legal liability.
Mhm.
The deductible is $10,000, which tells me that this is somewhat maybe a common loss. or is it not? So my question is, what are we insuring them against? What kind of
Okay.
protection are we trying to
Under the other,
mitigate?
low, well.
Do you want to go ahead and identify yourself? And go
Oh,
ahead and who
I'm
you
Dave
are?
Gallo from RJ Gallo Company.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
The educator's legal liability provides cover for acts or omissions brought against the Board of Trustees.
Against
Okay.
the Board of Trustees, that would be
Okay.
us.
Both as a group, as in individuals, okay, because we provide defense. It also includes coverage for past board members, okay, and current, okay, because a suit can come in from anywhere, from a past incident. Okay, we also address, under the educator's legal, there's also the coverage extension of the employment-related practices liability, where we cover, wrongful termination type claims, discrimination claims and things of that nature. And yes, 10,000, go ahead.
Under the educator's legal liability, you're covering for, you said,
Acts or omissions alleged against the board,
yes.
okay,
You said something about firing or something.
yes, it's a coverage extension that it's included under the school board liability form is employment-related practices liability.
Okay, so that's a separate item.
Correct, and
Yeah.
it has a separate supplement.
Okay, no, I'm mostly interested in the, what are educators doing that would require a $10,000 deductible and $1 million occurrence limit? I mean, that's like, there's something like very major.
Okay, to answer that, for one, we also have 25 million in excess liability layers of coverage, where the school board or the educator's legal liability is part of that underlying schedule of coverage. Okay, so if we exhaust the underlying on the educator's legal, okay, now we start tapping into our primary umbrella and excess liability policies.
Dave, I think the question that, if I could please, might be, what might be an example of where that would come into play or take action? What would be an actual kind of case where you might use educator's liability? Would it be that a faculty member had done something or a staff member had done something in their duties, et cetera?
Correct, it would be the duties and responsibilities of the board.
Oh, it's primarily the board, not the
Correct.
faculty. Is
Correct.
that, okay.
Okay.
Because it says educators, it didn't
Right.
say, I think it should probably be something separate to say for the board.
Yeah, traditionally you would see it labeled as directors and officers liability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a different nomenclature for the
Yes,
same.
in the higher
position.
All
education.
right.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
higher education, it's education, and really, it's
Okay.
D&O coverage.
Okay. All right. Instead of
Correct.
D&O.
Really
Okay.
break that out, I mean, there's, but anyway, that's
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Plus primary
That
board
helps.
related
Correct.
behavior or bad behavior thereof,
Correct.
or inappropriate behavior.
Not that that would happen here.
No.
$10,000 deductible though, so somebody.
Well, it wouldn't be necessarily an appropriate board behavior. It would be protection against somebody that might bring some lawsuit against
Correct.
us, where
Correct.
their allegation was it was inappropriate, not necessarily because of us.
Correct.
That's
All
what
right.
these things cover.
So it's a title that I'm having issues
Yeah.
with, is the title of the
Yeah,
cover.
yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
you okay? All right, roll call.
Mr. Condon.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Dr. Kerrigan.
Aye.
Ms. Kashgarian. Dr. Griffin.
Aye.
Mrs. Olsheimer.
Aye.
Ms. Paul.
Aye.